Hi, my name's Ernie Wilson. I am the designer, architect, and owner of EWCalls.com and also of the maker of Tri-X stand shooting rests, which these are the two rests that I currently have on the market. This is called the Ranger, and that one's called the Field Stalker. Now, I get a lot of phone call questions about how to operate both of these products. What I'm going to do is give a little demonstration on the Field Stalker first. The Field Stalker and the Ranger are both built on the same base tripod. So they can be adjusted from way down to this height or up to this height, or maybe even a little higher, but obviously you don't want to shoot over my head, but it's kind of nice to have the ability to set out a long leg in case you need to set on some even ground or set it down over a bank a little. Now, to change the heights on these, it's just simple. You just lift these three legs and lift up on the tripod, and the legs extend down. When you get it to where you want, you just tighten them back down, lift those levers down, and it's back in business. Now, for stability, it's nice to have the legs just out a little bit, because obviously you don't want them too straight because you don't get strength out of anything sticking up there. You might as well just have a regular stick. But this, if you spread the legs out a little bit, say like at this distance, which I like for my height, I'm around 6 foot, and you step these legs into the ground, which both tripods have steel spikes on the end, so they'll stick into rocks, into rock crevices, into dirt, into ice. They'll stick into just about anything you feel like jamming your foot into, so to get it solid. Now, this top piece swivels 360 degrees, but it also swivels right and left and up and down. The same with that. That goes 360, up and down, right and left. So it can do that the whole way around. So it's like a multi-joint, just keeps fluently running the whole way around. To change the tension of how fluent you want this to run, you can have, there's a knob under here, you can set it that it runs fairly stiff. If you want to stay nice and solid for maybe a longer shot, but if you want to keep it looser or tighter, there's a nice knob at the bottom of this which you tighten or loosen, which controls the tension of how this tripod works. So once you set this to how you like it, odds are you never have to touch it again. If you're out hunting, you're hunting all day or all season, you set it to where you like it. You don't have to change it because that tension stays there the whole time. I mean, it'll just stay solid. Now, on the Field Stalker, if you read my notes, it says you need an 11-inch platform. That's from here to here of clear surface on your rifle to set a gun in this particular rest. Now here's a Savage, which has plenty more than 11 inches of clearance in the bottom here, and this sets right in here. Now what that does is when you can set it like this one's set, it stays pretty much center of balance, can swing right or left, and like I said, can be self-leveled right, left, and the nice thing about this then is this feature, and they both do the same thing, which I'll show you. Let's suppose I set this up in a hurry. I saw an antelope or something pretty far out, and the tripod's crooked. Well, that would make this sit like this in the tripod, on a regular tripod or any other type of equipment. But this sets like this. I can bring this right up to level again and swing right and left to where I'm at, so I don't have to have this perfectly level. Now, as you can tell, the gun is setting in here, so you don't want it to fall out. You should pay pretty close attention to how you're holding the gun or what's going on, because as you notice, even when I moved there, it could have slid out of there. Because it's only setting in like 1.5 inches deep. So, but once you're set up at a location, like you're watching something, you can use this bracket right here, which is an option, and which has a pin on it, which you pull this pin, and this pulls out, so you don't need it on there. You can hunt without it, or you can put it back in, put your pin back in, and then what this is, you can set a spot and scope on here, or a video camera or whatever else you want to have, and this tightens. This is pressure fit, and it same thread, quarter 20 thread as your spot and scope or any other type of apparatus that you'd use in the hunting field today. It screws right onto here. So you could view what you're looking at through your spot and scope, and then take your spot and scope off. I would, because of recoil. You don't want to damage your spot and scope or camera. But you can study what you're looking at through the spot and scope and see what you got and go back and forth and study whether you want to shoot it or not. That's the idea of this. Now, that's about as much as I can say about this model. This model here, well, I will show you this though. Makes a nice place to store your extra rifles. But an AR does fit on top of this because it's got the 11-inch clearance. But the problem with the AR is it's end heavy. So you could set up somewhere to shoot prairie dogs or whatever else you're going to shoot, foxes or coyotes or even antelope or whatever you shoot with, off of this, and you'd be rock solid, and you can lean on it. This is designed to carry quite a bit of weight, so you could lean on this. You're not going to get any wiggle out of this rest. But the gun itself, as you notice, will want to tip out of here, so you have to hold on to it. But if you're just setting up like you see something out there and you want to set up and shoot off of it, it's perfectly fine, and it tracks absolutely perfect. You know, you can just track whatever you're shooting at. Now this one, as you notice, I got it set up pretty high. I'm going to lower it down so I can at least show you how I plan on shooting out of it. But there, I'm going to lower it down to this height. Matter of fact, I'm going to lower a little more. And if you're in a hurry, like it ain't quite the right height, see there, it's a little low, and you're in a hurry, you can just push one leg up. That'll get you your height, and remember, this always self-levels. This rifle will always stay self-leveled. You don't have to worry about it being unleveled. Like what I'll show you here. Now, this rifle, if you look, there's two posts, one on each side of this rifle butt, that hold the rifle butt right at the end. That way it'll accept any gun, and your swivel doesn't get in the way. That's something I changed this year. Actually, this year I changed that, and I went to a heavier bolt in the center, 5/16 bolt and threads underneath there, so it's a little heavier duty. Didn't change the other models I have as far as movement goes, but I was afraid of people leaning down on it too hard and bending the rod, the bolt on the bottom, so I went a little heavier bolt. But this keeps your guns from being set in there freewheeling. Like this is like a third hand almost holding this gun, so it helps steady it. And in this cradle up front, this will hold just about any regular manufactured rifle that I've tried today, including some of the wider Remington varminters. They fit in here quite easy because it's wide enough to carry. Now this bracket here, this little bracket here, these two brackets here, what that's designed for is the same thing again. If somebody wants to put a spot and scope out on here, or a camera or whatever else, this same thread goes up through this hole and will capture your video camera or your spot and scope, and you move it to suit either right or left hand side. You move it to suit wherever you want it to be. Like even if you want to move away out front here, you can move it out front if you want to put a camera or something else, or a video camera. But for spot and scope, usually end up back in here somewhere. And then there's a retaining clip here that when you put it back in, it screws back into. So you don't lose it when you're in the field. And then you can also, if it's in the way of where you like to carry your your gun, you can slide this forward or backwards and keep it out of your way. Like some ARs, the clip comes down and you got to move it forward or backwards to stay out of the way of the ARs. But now, like I was saying, this thing, when you look straight at it, it's perfectly level. Like the front of the gun runs perfectly level. Now, if you were in a hurry and set this up and the tripod was crooked, see how the top's crooked? Well, you wouldn't want the gun to sit like that. It wouldn't shoot for crap. So what happens is this is designed to roll right back up to level, or past level, whatever you need. But it's designed to roll back up so you can always keep your crosshairs dead level and your gun nice and solid. So you ain't sitting like this or not solid. So you can set up perfectly level again and then do your shooting like you like, up and down, right and left, whatever you want to do. It'll level. So just use your crosshairs like you normally do and bring the gun up level that your crosshairs are level, and then you're good to go. Well, like I said, this can be set on all kinds of goofy banks, goofy hills, different angles. I mean, that's a pretty radical angle there if you look at it for something to set, and I can bring it right back up to level. So you can go like at least a 20-degree angle out of level and still be good. Now the other thing here is these rests. These rests here, if you look at these rests here, you can slide forward and backwards. See how you pull it back? What that does is you can find the center weight of your gun or back past there. I find that when I bring the rest that the rifle's back this far, at least in this area, the pivot joint moves far out here, but not far on your barrel. So if you're shooting at a real long distance target, this helps slow that movement down and makes you track a little better, so when you stay back like that. Now if you're just shooting rapid fire and following something fast, dead center's fine, but your movement at the end of your barrel is at a faster speed. So like I said, if you want to really shoot far and with a lot less violent motion to the end of your barrel, keep it there, and it slows your speed down and makes you a lot more accurate. But that's about it. This model here is $199 without the spot and scope bracket. The spot and scope bracket is $34 more. This model here is $369, and of course they both require shipping added onto that. So wherever you live, shipping is going to be added onto that. Most places in the country I've been able to ship for $18 without any trouble. Now for storage and shipping, these two rests, this top comes right off, so you can store that. Put these legs in. There's a little clip inside there that I screw onto here to make it easy so you don't lose them. So when you get somewhere, you fold this down. Got leg straps on the bottom here. So you just put the strap around the bottom one there, and it's ready to go. And that's as big as you need to cart around. Anyhow, that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to call me. I've tried to answer them here on this video to save me a bunch of phone call questions. Anyway, thank you. Have a good day.